Hello, welcome to my channel. My name is Kristen and I'm a college, faith, and lifestyle blogger over on KristenChain.com, and I have recently started making video content as well. So hello, nice to see you. I'm glad you're here, and today I'm going to be bringing you my last travel video for a while. I have traveled so much this year, it's crazy, but I'm so thankful and so excited. And this weekend, my mom and I headed to Dallas, Texas to see Waco and Magnolia Market and all that fun stuff. But she and I wanted to make this video today for you to bring you some of our best tips and tricks for making the most of your visit to Waco so that you don't waste any time in seeing everything, because we only had one morning to visit Waco and Magnolia and there's lots to do, but we are so glad with the way everything turned out and we are so glad that we didn't waste any time, which is why I wanted to bring you this video to show you what we learned and what we did so that if you visit Magnolia, you will not waste your time, you will not get stuck in the worst of the Texas heat, and you can see everything that there is to do because it was such a fun stop. So if you don't know, Magnolia Market, Magnolia Table, and the silos are all part of Chip and Joanna Gaines from Fixer Upper, which is a show on HGTV, and I have grown up watching HGTV with my mom and we're huge Fixer Upper fans. So basically Chip and Joanna created this breakfast restaurant, and then Magnolia Market, which is located at the historical silos in Waco, Texas, and there's some like home decor stores, all the Magnolia goods like the one that I'm wearing today. They have lots of fun things to buy. They have a little bakery, there's food trucks, a little garden, there's lots of fun stuff to visit. So if you are a fan, you know what I'm talking about, but if you've never heard of it, you're probably like, what? That doesn't make any sense. Why would you go visit this? My dad and my brother didn't understand why we were making this trip, but if you're a fellow Fixer Upper fan, you get it. So I'm glad you're here. So the first thing we did was head to a Magnolia Table. We had about an hour and a half drive from where we were staying with my family just outside Dallas to drive all the way to Waco. We arrived just before 9 a.m. and by 9 there was already over an hour and a half wait to be seated at Magnolia Table for breakfast, which was wild. All of Magnolia does a really good job of having staff there to greet you and keep you informed and make you feel really welcome. So there was a staff worker waiting at the end of the line, talking to new people that arrived, telling people kind of like what to expect and how long the line was and all of that. And then she was also there to tell you that they have a section of the restaurant that is specifically designed to be a takeaway market so that you can go pick up coffee, pastries, food, kind of like a Starbucks layout where they had a little refrigerator section and then you can order coffees and pastries as well. And then they have some shirts like this one that I bought because this one is from Magnolia Table, little kitchen decor, mugs, all that good stuff, in addition to the food that you can purchase and take away. There's also an outdoor seating area designed specifically for the people waiting in line. So while you're waiting over an hour to get your seat at the table, you can sit outside at the coffee bar and there's lots of tables and some games for kids and all that fun stuff. After seeing how long the line was, we decided that we did not want to waste our day waiting in line. So we went to the takeaway bar and ordered some coffees and muffins, and then we went and sat outside in the takeaway seating area. And also a little extra fun tip from us not waiting in line and just going to the takeaway area. If you've watched the TV episode where they open the restaurant, Chip and Joanna have like cement handprints, and those are located over by the takeaway door. So if you went through the regular restaurant entrance, you wouldn't even see them, but we had watched the episode and my mom kept talking about wanting to see their handprints. And then when we were walking from the takeaway door back to the seating area, we walked right past the handprints and we took a little picture, which you can check out on my blog post. So that was cute, and you would probably miss seeing the handprints if you went through the regular entrance of the restaurant instead of the takeaway. So that was kind of just a little added bonus, but we personally didn't really care about actually sitting down and eating compared to just visiting the restaurant and then getting our quick little breakfast to go. After we had our coffee outside, we decided to head to the silos before it got too hot and before the lines got too long, because the Magnolia blog does recommend getting there at the beginning or the end of the day so that you don't hit the worst of the crowds and the heat. And that day we were there got up to at least 103, 104, but when we were there it was about 86 and cloudy, so it really wasn't too bad, and being from Florida we are well accustomed to the heat. We parked about a block away from the silos. There's free street parking pretty much everywhere, and there's a trolley and golf carts that'll pick you up from your parking and bring you to the market. But we just walked about a block up to the market, and then there was also a really long line for the bakery, which is at the corner of the market. So we skipped that and we headed right into the stores, and the little market stores are actually air conditioned, so if you need a break from the heat you can just kind of mosey around the store. There's lots to look at, so we spent some like extra time in there just to cool off. But there's two big stores. One is just like a regular store and then one is in a big warehouse. They have lots of other shirts and home decor and candles and books and anything you could possibly want from their brand, and everything was so pretty, and I'm sure there was lots of local Texas people there to actually buy things to decorate decorate their home, but we just got some shirts and some mugs and some little kitchen decor things that we could fit in our carry-on suitcases. We would really advise to prepare for the heat, especially if you're not used to it like we are being from Florida. So I would definitely recommend sunglasses and sunscreen and comfortable clothing that you're not going to get overheated in, because it will get really hot and there is lots of walking around outside. So just be ready for that, in addition to waiting in long lines that could also potentially be outside. Our next tip, and something that my mom and I both did, is to bring a larger purse if you're planning on shopping. And then we also planned on bringing larger purses to carry around at the market so that we could have water bottles with us to stay hydrated, which was a good idea and a pro tip. And then we also put some of the items that we purchased in there so you could keep your hands free for more shopping, of course. We'd also recommend coming hungry, just because there is so much food everywhere. So even if you don't go to Magnolia Table and eat at the restaurant for breakfast or lunch, there is the bakery located at the silos, as well as food trucks that you could stop at for lunch or a snack. They had some cute little iced tea trucks, they had a crepe truck, they had a bakery truck as well. So that was our other little trick that we learned, that if you just want a cupcake but you don't want to wait in line at the bakery, there is a bakery, a Silos bakery food truck, and there was pretty much no line. And then we got the same thing that they're serving at the bakery without the wait. And finally, we would just advised to visit the whole market, which is something that they say on the Magnolia blog as well, because if you get stuck in line at the store waiting to purchase your goods, or the bakery or something, you might not have time to visit the whole thing, or you might just be worn out by then. But we kind of walked through the stores and kind of made a full lap around before coming back to anything. And located towards the back of the little block where the market is, there's a little garden section and a little garden store, and that was really cute too, just because we love gardening in our family. We have plants everywhere in our house. The garden was a really pretty picture spot. I'll have those pictures on my blog like I mentioned. And then there was also a little garden shed that had some different decor than what they have at the main store, and then even what they had at Magnolia Table. So you can get some of the same things, like the mugs, which I purchased one of the mugs. You can get some of the same items at any of the stores, but then some of them are specific to wherever you are. The bakery, I'm sure, had another section, and we didn't go inside the bakery, but then Magnolia Table had some different items than what the regular market stores had. So this one is part of the slogan from the restaurant. So this one says, "The good old days are still to come," and that one they didn't have at the main store. And then I also got another little kitchen towel from the garden section, and this one had sunflowers on it, which sunflowers are kind of in honor of my abuela, who passed away a few years ago, and sunflowers were her favorite flower. So that's kind of something that's special to my family. So we picked up some of those, and they only had the sunflower ones at the garden store. So if you didn't make it to that store, you wouldn't see everything if there was something specific that you were looking for, like that sunflower towel. But the main Magnolia items you can find at the main store, or even at the table if that's where you end up. But if you were too busy waiting at the bakery or something, you might not make it all the way back to the garden, but it is a really pretty spot, so we were glad we made it back there. I hope these tips were helpful if you are planning a day to Magnolia Market sometime soon. It is so much fun, and we are just so glad that we made the trip to visit it, and our time was so worth it. But we are so glad we didn't wait in line, and we didn't really have time to wait in line. But if you were there for 2 days, you could definitely cut out some extra time. If you did want to go to Magnolia Table for breakfast, you need to just account for getting there really early or waiting in a long line. But I think it definitely would be worth it. All their food was so good, the staff was so nice, and the whole trip was just so worth it, honestly. Also, a little bonus tip that is related to Waco is that after we finished at the silos, we left at about 11 a.m. We decided to drive through downtown Waco to see what we could find, and there was this place called Spice Village, which is kind of like a flea market or something like that, but instead of antique kind of stuff, it was a whole bunch of boutiques. I think it was 60 plus boutiques that all had little booths kind of all on top of each other on the second floor of like a big warehouse building. But it was so cute, and we spent so long walking around all the little boutique stores looking at all the clothes and goodies and everything, and I don't even think we got to everything, and we were probably in there for at least an hour and a half. And that whole Spice Village shopping area was located on the second floor of the building, and on the first floor was some other shops and restaurants and things. So we actually got lunch on the first floor of that building at a Tex-Mex restaurant called Ninfa's, and that place was poppin'. It was definitely a good stop in addition to our stop at Magnolia that you would miss otherwise, but it was kind of nice to have some time to just explore downtown Waco and the other cute little shops and restaurants and things around there, because it is such a cute little town. So if you've watched this video, I hope you love Fixer Upper and Magnolia as much as we do. It was so much fun to spend the day there, and the trip was so worth it. But I hope if you are planning a trip there, some of these tips can be helpful for saving you time or from the worst of the crowds and the heat. Thank you so much for watching, and while you're here, I hope you'll subscribe to my channel so that you don't miss any of my future videos. You can also check out the blog post edition of this video with more pictures and details about our trip to Magnolia and Waco. Thank you so much for being here, and I hope you have a blessed day.